I'm a Stanford alum. I was involved in InterVarsity Graduate Christian Fellowship at Stanford, which is how I found out about this conference. And I want to share with you today a personal testimony about how God gave me a vision for my life work as a user experience designer. Answered my prayers in a dramatic way. And I know that a lot of you are probably here really thinking and wrestling through what does it mean to follow God fully in my studies, in my job, in my career eventually, where I will spend the bulk of my really waking life. And how do I follow God? What does it mean to serve Him through my vocation? A little bit about my professional background. I've been in the user experience design or web design world for over 15 years. And throughout this whole time, I've really wrestled and struggled with the question of, am I serving God fully in my work? It's been, even when I've really enjoyed my work and found a lot of satisfaction in it, I've been very grateful for it and definitely felt like God has led me to the companies that I've been at. Still is this nagging question, am I following God fully? Also, I struggle a lot with my concept of God. I've been a Christian for most of my life, but for many years, I struggled with believing that He was good and that He was competent because I saw a lot of the suffering and the evil in this world. I also would struggle. I was spiritually very frustrated sometimes that I was hearing these amazing stories of miracles in the Bible or other people's testimonies, but felt that I was really lacking something in my personal experience of God. So a big prayer that I had going into this trip to South Africa was that I wanted to see God work powerfully. So when this opportunity came along to go to South Africa with a Christian business consulting organization, my motivation was that I wanted to use my skills, my design skills, to serve God and to serve others. But a big prayer of mine that I would tell my friends about is, please pray, I want to see God work powerfully in a way that is unique to me, that I can't deny, and where I can trust God more and know more about His love for me. So we went to a small coastal town in South Africa called Knysna. It's a beautiful area. It's about a 10-hour drive east of Cape Town along the coast. It's one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. It's beautiful. It's a tourist attraction, and a lot of people have their second homes. Like a lot of Europeans will buy second homes there. So it's a beautiful place. However, there's also a lot of struggle. Economically, it's very difficult because of just the world economy the last few years. There's about a 20% unemployment rate. A lot of people will leave the area to go to the cities to find jobs. So when I was there, I also saw a lot of struggle and a lot of hopelessness in the people there. And the town itself, the main industries are tourism and timber. So it makes for a very volatile economy. So we arrived in Knysna. This was our team of consultants and clients. And there I met my client that I was paired with. Her name was Tanya. She was a lovely South African woman who, she had a website and she needed help with her website, which is why I was paired with her. So we started working throughout the week, and I got to know a little bit more about the vision that her and her husband John were pursuing. They had given their lives to this vision to follow God and to serve, especially the underprivileged or those who had no access to resources or education and were struggling in their jobs to make a living in this area. The main organization is called Business Revolution, and what they were trying to do is they were trying to build up entrepreneurs in their area through education, through incubator workshop areas, and training local artists and entrepreneurs to grow their business and help them sell their products online and in stores. So I saw how they were using their vocation and their skills to train other people to use their skills to make a living. For instance, one of the local artists that Tanya was training was a very talented wire artist. His name was Wonderful. And I just saw how he became alive when he talked about this talent that he was developing. He makes this art from, without a template, just from scratch. Tanya was helping him productize his art and also sell it so that he can make a living to support his family. And I met with a couple of very impressive entrepreneurs who were going to be leaders at the campus, and they were living out their faith through their vocation. So Kennedy and Samuel, they make custom-made furniture, and they see their business as a way that they can serve God by making good products and also by serving their clients. Felix and Maureen, they're students, and they're also co-pastors in a small church in the area, and they have a motto that they are trying to learn continuously so that they can lead courageously and always teach others. So I saw how God was using Christians all around the world to use their business skills and their jobs to serve him, and it was an inspiration for me. But now let me tell you the story about how God actually brought it home to me during this trip. It wasn't until the middle of the trip where God answered my two big prayers, which were for I want to see him work powerfully and also for a life direction for my work. What happened was, in the middle of the first week when we arrived, I had started establishing a rapport with Tanya. This is Tanya and her husband, John. But one day they were missing from the workshop. I didn't know where they went. And our group leader, they stood up and they said, I have some very sad news. John's parents were murdered last night. And it was a really brutal murder. It was part revenge because it was a previous employee of his parents who had been dismissed for doing something bad. So I didn't see them for the rest of the week. And at the end of the week, this was the first significant thing where I felt like God really supernaturally kind of led me and spoke to me, was at the end of the week, our whole team was supposed to go to Cape Town to work with another set of clients. But I got this very, very strong sense, and it was unmistakable. I'd never felt it before. I knew that the thing to do was I had to stay behind and stay with Tanya and keep her company. It was just this pull, and it was unmistakable. So I talked to my team leader, and they were very open to it. So I ended up staying at Tanya's house and waiting for her, praying with her as she waited for John to come back from dealing with the police. At the end of the week, I got to meet more of her family. They came in for the memorial service. And at the memorial service, I got a glimpse into John's heart and his deep, deep desire to serve God and serve his country. Because he publicly announced at the memorial service, he said, our country is so ravaged by violence, I don't want to continue this cycle of hatred and revenge. Please join with me in choosing to love and to forgive. And he never said anything bad about the people who were caught that murdered his parents. So I saw his dedication in one of the hardest times of his life to loving God and loving people and loving his country. Also, when he came back, we talked a little bit about the work that they were doing, and John said, we've been praying for 6 months for a web designer. We don't have resources, we can't pay you, but we believe that you're an answer to prayer after seeing how you've worked together with Tanya for a few days. And they said, would you be willing to stay and help us? So I changed my flight. I stayed another week. And I got to know more about their business. I got to go to the campus and see what they did on a daily level. And I really got inspired by their vision and seeing their heart and really their full dedication to following God. So I did have to go back after 3 weeks, but I said, let's keep in touch. And this is the second way that God really worked powerfully in answering my prayer was, as soon as I got back, I told my friends, it feels like that I fell in love with my clients and their work. I felt this very, very strong, almost obsessive urge of I miss them, I care about them, and I have to be involved with their work. So from San Francisco, 2 nights now, we would have these Skype calls and emails where I said, I want to create these websites for you. I identified 3 websites that I needed. And it was really like my heart had opened up to them as people, to how they were following God, and to the vision that God had given them. So out of this experience, I would say this was a life-changing experience, and I don't use it lightly. God met me and answered my prayers in several ways. First, from my struggle of really questioning God's goodness and not being able to trust God fully, to seeing, well, if the impact of God's work in my life is to open my heart to love my clients, really, I think a supernatural love, and also to love the people that I met there. Maybe that indicates that God's character is of love, and it helped me to trust him at a deeper level. I also now see the power of my design skills and of technology to create a platform and a voice for causes and organizations that wouldn't otherwise have the resources or the ability to do that. And it's giving me a new inspiration and a new vision and motivation to become a good designer so that I can offer these services and do pro bono work, which I'm continuing to do, and God continues to give me opportunities to serve others in that way. And from being spiritual frustrated to being able to say, for the first time in my life, I've experienced joy, which a pastor once described as longing fulfilled, longing to see God work, longing to have more of a purpose and direction in my life. It was very powerful for me. And my current company, it's called Dayspring Technologies, is a small design agency in San Francisco. They're actually started by Christians, and they're very aligned with what God has been teaching me. They serve their clients through their design work as well as doing pro bono work, and they've been very supportive of my trip. So in conclusion, there's a few lessons I've learned spiritually that I want to encourage you guys with as you pursue your own vocation and following God completely, is the idea of faithful perseverance. So for those 15 years when I was in the design industry questioning, is there meaning to this? It wasn't until the end of that time where God revealed, I've been putting you through all this training so that you can be at a place where now you can be a leader at your company or mentor other people, and also you have a mature set of skills that you can use to support other organizations. So that faithfulness of just doing the best work and being led one step at a time and trusting God is really important. Also, it's very important for me to remind myself not to give up hope, not to give in to cynicism, and I required a Christian community around me to remind me of that. I say, you know what, I should always hope that God is good, that he can work, and I needed my community around me to believe that. And when I was looking for my next step in life, I fasted and prayed for 3 days because it was so important for me. And I believe God answered in a powerful way, and that's when this opportunity to go to South Africa came up. So I'd encourage you to pray diligently, but continue to move forward and watch for opportunities and take them and see how God leads you. So I hope this encourages you, and I know that God is active and leading his followers, and I hope that you guys are able to find out his guidance in your life as well. Thank you very much.